Well, good morning. We are heading out from the shelter. We're a little bit late this morning. It's 9 o'clock, and I slept in a little bit. I slept the best I've slept the whole time. It was cold, probably 25 is what my thermometer said.
Yeah.
But I slept warm. I used my liner, and I just didn't want to get out of the bed because it was cold this morning. But we're heading up the road. We've got 11 and a half miles to get to the NOC today, and we'll have to stop at the top of something and call down and make sure we can reserve our room. And then we head out towards Watauga Dam and Fontana, or Fontana Dam rather, not Watauga. Tomorrow we'll be heading out for 2 or 3 days to get to that. So we'll check in with you up the trail. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on day 16 up the trail a little ways. Well, here's a view out of the gate this morning. Just walking up the way, I stopped to take my fleece off because now that I'm moving, I'm warm enough. So we're headed to the NOC, as I said today. And we have, you will not believe the highlight of the day. The highlight of the day is going to be a massive down. And we'll come to a place called the Jump Off. And the trail narrows, it's almost like a knife edge for a while. And then we drop way down into the NOC. So I'll show you that when we get there. Beautiful day for hiking. Hopefully it'll warm up a little bit, probably in the 40s, mid 40s today. And we'll take that. Hopefully we'll be hiking in the sunny side of the mountains today and not so cold. My fingers finally are not numb, and I hope that stays as well. Well, this is the next view of the morning, and quite a view it is. Beautiful sunny weather. We have truly been blessed. Well, still kind of climbing up, but I know we've got a big down. So we go up, down, up a little bit, and then way down. We're up at Wesser Bald now, and I think the trail's gonna flatten out and do its downward thing. So, as I said earlier, I slept well last night. Getting my breath. Usually when I lay down and close my eyes, I fall asleep. And that's not been the case out here. It's been very frustrating. Probably because I'm used to sitting up till 12:30 or 1 o'clock watching my YouTube subscriptions. All the Thru hikers from the last year and a whole bunch of other stuff I watch. And I'm just not accustomed to going to bed at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. But we laid down last night about 6, and I was out pretty good and slept until 7:30 this morning. It's pretty nice. What's that?
Trail is iced over.
Oh, okay. Hawkeye's telling me the trail's, yes, it is. Icy right there. Thank you. But anyway, I was glad. I hope I'm turning a corner, and we'll start sleeping a lot better. We'll see what happens. Don't forget to keep guessing about what my favorite piece of gear is. We'll do that a little bit later on in the day today. Well, we are moving downward still, headed into Tellico Gap. There's the roadway down there. I'll pull up and wait on Hawkeye. I'm a little bit better on the downs and flats than he is. So he's a few minutes behind me. He's better than I am on the uphill, so he'll lead out of here and do our next climb in front. And then maybe we'll get back together when we get up on the ridge line headed over towards the NOC. I hope the climb up is not as steep as this has been. I can do well on downhills, but if you're having to dodge rocks and step over stairs and things like that, it really slows you down. So I have to look and see how far I've been. I think we were about 2.5 miles at the 1 hour mark, so that's not a bad pace, even with a little bit of uphill thrown in there, so I'll live with that. We're still trying to gauge, it'd be kind of nice to get up in the morning. Okay, I got this many miles, and I know how fast I can go, so I know about when I'm going to get there. That gives me a little bit of peace of mind with my hiking. Well, pardon me while I catch my breath. Whew. That was a climb, 1.4 miles out from Tellico Gap. And we have a view. And better than that, I forgot this was on the agenda today. There's the Wesser Bald Tower right there. So we'll climb up that and get a better view here in a minute. Probably gonna stop and have some lunch here. See if I can come around here. You can sort of see where the trail goes out right here. And I think it pretty well follows this ridgeline for a mile or so. And then it's gonna drop down into the gap where the NOC is. All right, there's a price to pay for this video, guys. You got to find 3 more people to subscribe because I hate heights. Coming up here was tough. But there's a big flat, observation deck up here at the top. You can walk around and do a 360. If it had not been just a wide open something at the top, definitely would not have climbed it because I'm not a fan of heights. All right, so here's this. Here's where we came up, right over here where I came up. Hawkeye's still eating, but good observation platform up here. You can walk around and see all kinds of stuff. Beautiful, beautiful views from up here. But I'm going to make my way down, and we're going to head on down and start our descent into the Nantahala Outdoor Center. Have you guessed my favorite piece of gear yet? So this is going to be the big reveal of my favorite piece of gear. Hands down, would not walk without my trekking poles. I want to show you why. So, proper way to use a trekking pole is to come underneath the straps and go from the bottom up, and then you kind of grab the straps and the pole itself like that. And when you're walking along, you can use them to push off like that. If you're going downhill, you can lead with them and kind of brace yourself and keep yourself from going forward. And when you're going uphill, you can kind of use them like a stair banister and help to push. So, for stepping down, leading with the pole and putting weight into that pole right there, and such helps ease the burden on your knees. And we're getting ready to do a whole lot of stepping down. So I'm really proud to have these poles. If you don't have poles, I highly recommend Lecky Trekking Poles. Their customer service is unbelievable. I've had 2 times I've broken the lower limb of my pole, and I called them up. They said, send us your address. It'll be there Tuesday, no charge. And it's awesome. So favorite piece of gear, hands down, are my trekking poles. All right, it's about 10 till 12. We've had our lunch, and we are going to begin our descent 6.5 miles downhill to the NOC for tonight. We'll stay in a little cabin that they've got there. I'll show it to you when we get there. But there's also, I think it's called the Riverside Cafe or something to that effect. They've got a really nice restaurant there. I'm looking for a big cheeseburger and some fries or something to that ilk. And we'll be excited to get there here in a bit. Well, this is a big tree that's laying right across the trail. Hawkeye's going to make it through about the same way I did. Stepping up and over, trying not to get tangled up and stuff. So here's the trail right down here, and this thing's probably 2.5 feet across. Huge. But he made it. Good job. Yay. All right, this is our water source coming down the hill. Trickling right here, but we've got a really nice pipe going over here. We just probably both need a liter, but I'm going to camel up while I'm here. And just a little beautiful spot. Just I don't know, 100 feet off the trail. Not bad at all. I think this is that little knife edge part that I was telling you about where, the trail drops off seriously on both sides. And we may be at the jump off. I don't know. We may have a little ways to go yet. But at some point, we get to a view, and then the trail just drops. And it drops all the way into the NOC. We may not be there yet, but it's coming. All right, after a little bit of a climb that I wasn't expecting, we are at what I think is the jump off. You can definitely see it falls off steeper here than it did in the other spot that we were at. But wow, look at the views up here. I'm gonna advance very slowly towards the edge and let you see what we're seeing today. Beautiful views of the forest over there, both sides. And now we've got a path like this for a while. It's going to be steep and rocky, and we'll do the best we can to make as good a time as we can. We were hoping to be at the NOC by 3 o'clock. That may have been optimistic, but we'll get there when we get there. So this is the trail off that peak right up there. Rocky, thin. It's only about 6 feet from side to side that we're up here on this edge. And now we get to go down. So definitely putting the phone up and hitching up the poles. Actually, I may not hitch up the poles. I may just hold the poles. So I misjudged. This is the jumping off point and it's steep. I was too nervous to take a picture, but here comes Hawkeye down the good side of it. The other side is a sheer drop. And he's made it. So more steep stuff. Excuse me. Here comes Hawkeye around the corner. And my thinking is today that this climb down may take us more time than the climb up tomorrow. You just got to be really careful. We're stepping down a long ways. You just have to be really careful not to go tumbling. Well, it's 5 till 2. Checking my mileage. And on a typical downhill, we really coast. This has been way less than a typical downhill. There were probably 6 blowdowns within 200 yards of each other that we had to get up and over. There's all kinds of rocks and roots and stepping up and down 2 or 3 feet and having to stop and figure out, all right, how am I going to get across this? So don't know if we'll make the NOC by 3, but we won't be too long behind that. Hopefully things will wind out the further we go and it'll not be so technical. But we're working our way down the inside of this ridge right now. It's been a pleasant day to hike. It's just been a lot more rugged. Not than I was expecting. I remembered this from last year. And you can look at the map that I was viewing and determine that it was going to be slow going on the downhill because it was so steep. But we'll get there when we get there. Here's our trail forward up and over this stump. And this has been typical of the day. But as you follow around, once the sun gets out of the screen, you can sort of see the trail meandering downhill that way. That's what we're doing. Looks like it's a little more gradual, so maybe we can step out a little bit. Well, we've come down into a little bit of a flat right here. And over here to the right is the Rufus Morgan shelter back in the distance. And then what you're seeing in the foreground is the privy for that. And our trail, I feel like it goes there, but there's actually 2 paths out of here, so we'll have to do some looking. We're less than a mile from where we're headed, and hopefully this last mile will be kinder on our knees. We're both really feeling our knees really badly. We're gonna have to get some vitamin I when we get to the NOC up here in just a little bit. Alrighty, so this is pretty, and it's also right in my way. So how do I cross it? I guess I just go across and keep my feet from sliding. I think there's going to be plenty of footholds that won't be algae covered, that I'll be okay, but then the trail goes down and we're about half a mile from where we're going. So hopefully we'll make it there shortly. It's 3 o'clock right now on the nose. And I said I would hope to be here by 3 o'clock, so I'm pretty happy. We've still got a little ways to go, but not far. You can see some of the buildings down there and the roadway. The river's down there too. I hear the boats dinging against stuff and things, but I also smell food, so I'm gonna go up the trail. We have made it. So we are headed to the general store to secure lodging, and then we're going to the Creekside restaurant to get some food. I smell it already. Yes, it does. I can sense cheeseburger happening, maybe steak, but steak may be cost prohibitive. We'll see what I got. But we have made it our 12 and a half arduous downhill miles. That was probably the hardest hiking that we've done. You know, we've got to go up and out tomorrow, and I don't think the climb out of here is anywhere near what we came down today. But my hips are hurting from a hip belt riding on it. My knees are hurting from pounding. My feet are hurting from kicking things. And it's just been a pretty rugged day, but we have made it to where we're going. This is the view out the restaurant window. Folks out there hot dogging and having some fun in their kayaks. Good cheeseburger, it's almost gone. We're trying to plan for the next few days, and it's kind of crazy trying to sort it out, but I think we'll get it figured. Sounds like we heard from Jeff and Sounds like our climb out tomorrow is not going to be nearly as arduous as our climb down today, so that's good news. So we might try to push a little further than we had planned to go tomorrow, and we'll figure it out in the next little bit. Alrighty, so we had supper there at River's End Restaurant, and we're crossing the Nantahala right now. We've been watching these kayakers paddle along for a while now. A lot of fun to watch. We're still on the Appalachian Trail, even though we're going across the river. And we've got to go somewhere up tonight to get to our little cabin that we've rented. I think it's up that hill right there somewhere. We'll figure it out in a minute. So this is the whole NOC complex. Really, really, really busy in the summertime with rafting and kayaking and such. Not as busy right now. Well, this is our cabin. There's Gavin. Can we touch hands? I'm sitting on the bed. So that's how big our cabin is. It's probably maybe 6 by 8 or 7 by 8, 7 by 8 by 8. I don't know. It's very rustic. I've got a little bit of a bed here. The outhouse, well, it's actually a bathroom. I think they got a shower up there. It's just across the little area from us, so we're not far from that. But this is home for the night. We'll get up and hike on out tomorrow. Don't know yet how far we're going, but we'll figure it out as we go. So, just got to say good night, little guy.
Night.